fail me now. You won't fail me now. In the waiting, the same God who's never late is working all things out, working all things out. Yes, I will lift you high in the lowest valley. Yes, I will bless your name. Yes, I will sing for joy when my heart is heavy all my days. Yes, I will. I count on one thing: the same God never fails, will not fail me now. You won't fail me now. In the waiting, the same God who's never late is working all things out, working all things out. Yes, I will lift you high in the lowest valley. Yes, I will bless your name. Yes, I will sing for joy when my heart is heavy all my days. Yes, I will for all my days. Yes, I will, and I choose to praise, to glorify, glorify the name of all names. Nothing can stand against, and I choose to praise, to glorify, glorify the name of all names. Nothing can stand against, and I choose to praise, to glorify, glorify the name of all names. That nothing can stand against, and I choose to praise, to glorify, glorify the name of all names. Nothing can stand against. Yes, I will lift you high in the lowest valley. Yes, I will bless your name. Oh, yes, I will sing for joy when my heart is heavy all my days. Yes, I will for all my days. Yes, I will for all my days. Yes, I will.
Middle schoolers, did you know that in the English language, in Oxford Dictionary, there's 171,000 words in the dictionary? There's actually more, but those are the only ones that we currently use. That's kind of crazy, right? That's a lot of words. You probably only use like a third of those maybe. Well, did you also know that the average person uses 7,000 words a day? Okay, maybe there's the introverts out there that have, definitely don't speak a third of that, but I probably speak more, probably 8,000 to 9,000. I like speaking, it's talking, it's fun. With that, guys, there's a lot of words. How do we use them? 7,000? Do you speak that much? I don't know, just think. You're probably like, heck no, but I bet you probably get close to it. There's a lot of words that are out there and we use a lot through our day, speaking to people, talking to people, Snapchat, Instagram, texting, social media, anything like that. We use words to communicate with others and how we feel about them. So the question today that I'm thinking about is, how do we use words? How do I use all of these words? If I actually use 7,000 words a day, probably, maybe even say 3,000, are they used for good? Or are they used to hurt people? It's a lot of words and we have to think about them. See, using words is tricky. Sometimes in families, so like me personally, I think some words are good. I was taught some words are good, some words are bad. Do you think everyone thinks the same as you? Do they think that bad word that you think is bad is actually maybe good to them? It's not a bad word? I'm not just talking about cussing here or anything like that, guys. I'm just talking about simple phrases that we use. Simple sayings, how we treat others. Again, words make sentences. Sentences tell stories. It's how we communicate to people. How do you use your words? Maybe it's without your mind not even knowing, you get it from your parents. Maybe you use the words that they say and you use it at school or something like that. Maybe you get it from a famous quote you learned from class. Maybe you got it from a TV show, or you want to look cool, or you want to look funny, so you use these certain words. So guys, again, words can be tricky, but we also have to see that words can have power to them. See guys, I'm not talking about like don't use words. I'm not saying like every word's harmful, don't use anymore. I'm just saying that how we use them can make a big difference. The words compound to sentences, and sentences tell a story. We can either hurt people or build people up. So the question for you today is, how are you using your words? Are you recognizing the words that you say have power? So guys, they can either destroy things or they can build them up. We can do that as people. See, there's a piece of scripture. It's a book called James. It's in the New Testament. Awesome dude. He talks about the words that we use have power to them. Even the simplest words, like maybe even one word, has power to it. So guys, let's take a look at scripture real quick. In James 3:5-6, it says, "In the same way, the tongue is a small thing that makes grand speeches, but a tiny spark can set a whole forest on fire. And among all the parts of the body, the tongue is a flame of fire. It is a whole world of wickedness, corrupting our entire body. It can set a whole life on fire, for it is set on fire by hell itself." Whoa, James. Like he's kind of going crazy here. He's saying my tongue, one of the smallest parts of our bodies, has that much destruction. I think we're currently seeing what forest fires can do, and he's talking about fires right now. He's talking about that they're destructive, that they can hurt people. So our tongues are like fires and they're almost uncontrollable. Yet there is something to be controlled here. So we see forest fires, but we have firemen, right? Okay, am I the fireman? Can I control my tongue? Honestly, you can try, but it's really hard to. There is one person though that we can rely on to control our tongues. It says that in Psalms 141:3, it says this, "O Lord, guard my tongue, guard my lips." He wants us, he's showing us in Psalms, this writer is showing us that God is the one that we need to cry out to control our tongues, to control the words that we say, because we can try it, but we're gonna fail at it. And just know that, we're gonna fail. But we have a God that can control the uncontrollable, that he can subside the fire, that he can guard our lips from saying things that are destructive. He can say something more, and he can control our lips saying something more building, uplifting to our friends, our family, our people. So our tongue doesn't have to be destructive. In God's hands, as we give up that control, he can guard our lips to something else, to something greater, to build up a community, to uplift people even when we don't like them. So guys, remember that, even though our tongues are destructive. So this is our bottom line for today. Remember, Pay attention to the power that your words have. That's our bottom line for today, guys. Pay attention. Because if we don't recognize the power we have, then it's like having a little lighter and not realizing that it can control and set aflame a whole forest, guys. It's just like our tongue. We can say one word. James says that. We can say one simple word and it can be uncontrollable. But we have a God that we can rely on to give us that guarding heart and that pure words, that guarded hearts, guarded words can say and uplift people. So this week, guys, this is what I want you to do. First, I want you to recognize, are my words building up or tearing down others? I think, again, we're not perfect, so I don't expect you to say, heck yeah, all my words are good. If it's majority good, that's good. But what about the parts in your life that you need correcting on? Maybe there's someone in your class that you don't like very much. Maybe you're gossiping about them. Gossip is a part of words. Again, sentences tell stories. Are we building them up if we're talking about them behind their back? Then I want you to think of this. Pray to God every day this week. Ask Him morning and night to first check your heart, because it also says in Scripture, out of the heart the mouth speaks. So God, what's happening here to make me say these hurtful things? And allow Him to come into your life and guard your lips. Allow Him to take control of the words that we say and do. And then take simple steps. It doesn't have to be a giant leap. You don't have to get it perfect in 1 week. This is a continuous thing. He tells us this is spiritual formation. We have to take those steps, even the smallest ones, to maybe make a difference in the future. So guys, pray and talk to God about it. Recognize your words have power. And this week, will your words have power to uplift people or to tear them down? Because at the end of it, you do have the choice. Have a good one.